stage 4, which is creating a flowchart after we created a logical sequence, which we did. So I kind of put into here, I know the last week I did it on the board, and people kind of copied it down, and we did it on our own. But this is what it kind of looks like. Okay? So let's just quickly go over it. What we're going to do soon is we're going to, everything we've done till now was basically preparation for actually learning the Gemara. It was a lot of preparation, and we started from like history and went through understanding what we're looking at when we look at the page, and then looking at the text, identifying function words, preparing ourselves to know what to expect, what to expect in every stage, identifying that there are different stages, where the stages start and end, and what function each one serves. And now we're ready. Okay, but that's fine because the majority of this class is less a Gemara class and more a how to learn Gemara class. So at the end of all that, we actually get to learning Gemara. So now we're there. Okay, so this is exciting. But even this we're going to do in multiple stages. And as we go along, each time we get to a new piece, this whole process will become faster and faster and faster, and get us sooner and sooner to the actual reading of the text. Okay, so let's just quickly go through this, right? What I've done here is the boxes, basically each one represent a different stage. And on the sides you see which function words basically play into that stage, right? So the first whole big box is a she'elah, okay, which is made out of those 3 function words, my, which is what is, ilema, if you want to say, and hatanya, it says so somewhere else. Okay, then we have a tshuva, which we have a question, we have our answer, we have our raya, which is our proof. And last week someone, I forgot who asked me about the phrase, right, we have the phrase, about the phrase, Amar Rabbi Yehuda versus Rabbi Yehuda Amar. And someone caught me that I made a mistake. I forgot.
I don't know if you made a mistake, but
I did.
Questioning
it was Daniel, I think.
What?
I heard it in KosherTube. It was Daniel.
Okay. So I was covering everything. And when we get to the last, when we get next week, the second, when we get, because today what we're actually going to be doing, we're going to actually be doing for the text inside the she'elah. Okay, the actual text itself. But when we get to the end, I'll show you what the mistake that I made. I'll just give you guys a rule which I said before, but I'll repeat it again, which is that this structure of Rabbi Yehuda Amar or whoever, Rav Amar, Shmuel Amar, okay? Just 1 second. This one is a response, okay? or is a response, or it is coming after, it's a response to something. Amar Rabbi Yehuda is the beginning of something, okay? And even if that's right now that's unclear, that's fine. When we get to that structure of Amar Rabbi Yehuda is Rabbi Spitz said, okay? Whereas, said Rabbi Spitz, okay, versus Rabbi Spitz said. Said Rabbi Spitz is I'm telling you something from scratch, right? Said Rabbi Spitz, the following idea, versus Rabbi Spitz said, which is going to be a response. So that's what these two are. When we get to the stage in our Gemara where this phrase is used, I will show you why this caused me to tweak the flowchart a little bit. Last week we had just a descending box after box after box, and then I did a line saying, "Oh, there's a new statement." But I looked at it again and I realized I made a mistake. Now, last week I corrected myself in the previous week, and this week I'm correcting myself again. Now, it's not only because I could always do a better job at preparing and knowing exactly what I'm doing, but it's also because it's like sometimes looking at a SUGYA is like looking at a picture, looking at a photo. And you look at it for the first time, and you see the whole photo, but sometimes you don't see every detail. You're looking from this perspective, and if you look at it over here, you see it's a little bit different. And when talking about logical structures and talking about the flow of a story or a flow of an argument, and you hear one piece of it, and when you hear one piece of it in the beginning, okay, it sounds like this is what you're saying, or it sounds like this is what you're responding to, and then when you look at it again from a different perspective, suddenly you realize, wait a second, it's not exactly located where I thought. And that's one of the things that makes learning Gemara really, on the one hand, complex, but also almost like an endless endeavor, because you can be looking at it 5 times and see it a little bit differently each time. Look at it the 6th time and realize that the whole premise that you thought was completely wrong. You have to look at it again, and that's my way of justifying why I corrected myself again. Okay, so this flow chart, this logical sort of flow chart. Any questions about this? Okay. What we're going to aspire to do is, I've made these boxes big, is so as we go along with the text and start understanding it, we'll be able to, for those who choose to actually write it in here, or at least write in the bullet points, so then, we can see it in front of us in this structure. Okay. Everyone good till now? Okay. What we're going to do is, we're not going to be looking, well, I'll give you guys 2 options. We're going to do Chavruta learning now, as we always do. Every class we do Chavruta learning. I'll give you 2 options of how to do this. Option 1 is to do it from the text yourself. And I'm going to write over here a list of words, of translation words, to help you. If there's someone who feels they don't need any translation of any kind, and they feel that they have the structure, and all they need is this, and they're going to start off reading, and they're going to know that when they reach the word Hachikama, they stop, and until there's a question, they're just going to try to figure it out. Awesome, do that. Okay? If you need a word translated, call me, I'll help you. So that's option 1. Like if you feel that you want to just go ahead, you feel you have a little bit of background with the language, with the Hebrew, Aramaic, you go ahead, just use this to keep you okay. Stage 1 is going to be from here to here. Let's start reading it and answer the questions that I have on this sheet. That's option 1. Just do it on your own and answer the questions, okay? Which will serve as kind of like a guiding tool to understand what it's saying. Option 2, I'm going to write a list of words over here with the translations. So option 2 is still do it from the text with your Chavruta, and you'll have these words as like your cheat sheet. Okay. Option 3 is the text that I took the text and I put in the translation of certain words for you. Okay. I'm not going to give you it in English completely, meaning I don't believe there's any reason to. I've translated the words that I think might be difficult, and that way it's actually you're reading it from here. So if you feel you can take it a kind of an attempt to do it from the text itself, great. Even if it's grit your teeth a little bit, you'll discover each time you do it a little bit better. But even if you're using this sheet, after this next lesson, once we get through this, we'll all be doing it from the text itself. No cheat sheet, no nothing. Get used to seeing what we already understood and already understand, to see it in the text and actually see it there. Okay? So I'm going to give this out. So here, take one and pass it around. All right, I'm going to keep one, and I'm going to write the words and choose with your Chavruta if you choose to do this from the text itself with no cheat sheet, just the questions that I wrote here. Or you know what, if you really want, without any questions, just read it, see if you can understand it based on the stages. So I'm going to write here a few words as a cheat sheet. Is anyone who's not sure what they're supposed to do, let me know. Any words that we've learned already, I'm not trying, any words that we've learned already, like the word Elema, I'm not going to write down the translation because I assume we know it already. Elema is if you want to say, right? So I'm just going to finish in a second.
So we're starting.
So basically we're going through and we're just
go back to the Gemara.
I know, guys, wait 1 second. There's one little introduction I need to give you guys. Just a second. Just hold on 1 minute. Says I have to give you one more introduction that's really important. Wait. Just a second. There. When it says And the reason is this because the photocopier got stuck, so I apologize. Tira'u bi Okay. In order to start, okay, this is the translation of the words that as like a cheat sheet. Okay. And sorry that some of it is over here. Before we actually start, okay, if you look at the Gemara or at the sheet that I gave out, okay, I'm just going to start you off at the very beginning, okay. So the first thing we have the Mishnah, right? Yeah. We have the Mishnah, which brings us a whole long quote from the Mishnah, okay. And as we've explained in the past, the Gemara basically goes and says, okay, I'm going to start analyzing or trying to understand the Mishnah, okay. So if you look at the Mishnah, okay, if you look at the Mishnah, either in the actual book or in the page I gave you, okay, the Mishnah starts off, Kol mitzvot haben al ha'av, anashim chayavin, v'nashim p'turot. Okay, so someone help me out with that. What does that mean? Someone want to take a shot at that?
All of the mitzvot.
The son are on the father.
Just a second. Here, wait. All. Say that again. All.
All mitzvahs of the son have been.
Wait. This mic isn't working. This is just an introduction to give you. Say you guys what? Say that again. All
mitzvahs of the son.
All mitzvot. Yes.
Of the son.
Of the son.
On the
Wait, does it say of? What is al? What is the word al?
Upon.
What does the word al actually mean if you don't look at the word al? On. Good.
No, but
all mitzvot. Wait.
But it haben comes before al. All mitzvot.
Good. All mitzvot.
Haben.
The son. Right. Haben is the son.
Yeah. Okay.
All mitzvot. The son.
Al ha'av, on the father.
On the father. Yeah.
Anashim chayavin.
What's anashim?
Men.
What's chayavim? Men are obligated.
And
yeah.
Nashim.
And what's nashim? Women.
Patarat.
Women.
Patarat.
Are exempt. Are exempt. This is the first sentence of the Mishnah. Okay? Go. Now you're ready to start learning.
So, you want us to start with Gemara?
What? Yeah. Now, go to the Gemara. And if you're not sure why I stopped you and did all this, you'll understand in 1 minute. Any questions?
So the objective is to fill in this box in the flowchart before answering the question?
No. First you're answering the questions,
okay.
And then we're going to fill out the flowchart. Flowchart will be what we're going to be using for the next month.
The micro is what's happening.
So, how can you do the sun?
What are the mitzvot to take to the side of the wall? If you say all the mitzvot,
the question finishes on the app, right?
that
you're
obligated.
So what are the mitzvot of the sun that are on?
This son. Same as
If you say the mitzvahs obligated, which the son obligated, no matter what it should do, you say woman, Keturah is exempt.
You say that you're obligated. You say obligated.
So let's just what is the question? What is the question?
Here, can you see how we have this?
Two options that you can answer.
Right now we're focusing, just trying to understand the entire question with all of its stages.
It's a reiteration.
Well, it's a question. What are all the mitzvot? If you say all the mitzvot that are obligated,
Yeah. So Sheila, we have our first answer. So what is the question? What are those? So which mitzvot?
Leme'avad is to do.
right?
How are we doing? How do you guys understand what is the question? What is the first stage of the question? Right? The question has 3 stages, right? Right. The question has 3 stages. It has a basic question. It's saying, don't try to give me. It gives a supposed answer and says, but that's not a good answer. So what is? Okay. What is the first basic question?
What are the mitzvahs of the
Man
that are on the
not.
What's another option?
No, it's not.
Meaning you ask,
Only
what is
says
a mitzvah X or is a mitzvah Y? Right?
Rather.
Okay. So you know what? Go with that. See if that. Continue reading and see if that understanding of the question makes sense. Okay.
Doesn't it say man? It only says man.
How are we doing? From where?
Man.
A woman. From where?
Man. It only says man.
By your crotch is in the
If you say all the mitzvot that the son of
no,
they're okay.
Guys, let me stop everyone here just for a moment. Okay? Let's stop everyone here for a moment. Let's look at this original sentence. Okay? This is the translation of that first sentence of the Mishnah, which the Gemara is discussing. Can someone? I'm going to read it to you. This is an exact translation. All mitzvot, the son on the father, men are obligated and women are exempt. Can someone try to explain to me what this sentence means? Is this sentence? Let me rephrase that. Is this sentence clear?
No.
Why is it not clear?
Because what are women? Are those the?
Well,
are those the daughters, or is that the mother?
Other than that, everything. This sentence is clear to you?
No, it's kind of backwards syntactically to what we say in English.
Forget about the syntax.
No, it's well. To me, the son, the father. It doesn't make logical sequence. The father has mitzvot imposed upon him because.
But where do you get the word upon? All mitzvot, the son on the father. What does that mean? Like, does anyone here? Is it obvious? Someone explain to me what this means.
Well, I think we're assuming that it means that mitzvahs of the son are the obligation of the father. They're on him as a responsibility.
Why are you assuming that?
I don't know, because that's just how I read it.
What?
I think it means based on stuff I've seen from later in this area that it's what are the mitzvot that basically a father, his obligations.
Wait, no. Don't tell me what you saw afterwards. You read. Remember the historical procession. You read the Mishnah. Okay, the rabbis of the Gemara come. They read a Mishnah, and they try to understand what it's saying. 2 things they do: either understand what it means, or how to apply it. Right. So I read this, and let's say you did not skip forward, like you didn't see what's coming afterwards. You read this. Do you understand what it's talking? Do you understand what it's trying to say? I understand it's trying to say that certain mitzvot men are obligated to do and women are not. But
okay, so I don't get that.
It's not
because
saying.
To me, the first sentence and the second sentence are almost unrelated.
Why? You're right. Why? What makes them difficult?
Whatever it means, all mitzvot of the son are on all mitzvot the son on the father. Whatever that means is part A. And then
fine, but wait. Why do you say whatever that means? Why do you say whatever that means?
Because it doesn't grammatically make sense. I'm not really sure what it is. Because
wait. Okay, good. So if you are a rabbi of the time of the Gemara, and this is one of the things that we try to do to come and say, okay, we can think just like they can think. Like maybe they were smarter than us and had more knowledge, but it's logic. So much of Gemara is just logic. So you see this sentence just like Rabbi Yehuda saw this sentence, and you said whatever that means. So if you're a rabbi living in the time of the Gemara, and you're supposed to explain this Mishnah, what do you ask?
What does it mean?
What are we talking about?
That's stage 2.
Lots of questions.
First, your question is what?
No, I don't even say what mitzvot are we talking about, because it says all mitzvot, end of story, all mitzvot.
Yes, but what do you ask?
But then the next thing is what are they talking about? Men are obligated and women are exempt.
No, stop. Go back. You started saying whatever that means.
Yeah.
Why are you not sure what it means? What?
In other words, what are the mitzvot?
No. Meaning, again, someone please explain. Wait. Please explain. Someone. I promise not to interrupt this time. What does this phrase mean? Can someone please explain to me? By the way, the Hebrew is not any clearer than this. Can someone explain this to me?
It doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Because on is not the right word.
So what's your first question?
What does it mean? Why is it phrased like this?
What?
What?
No. When you say why is it phrased like this, it assumes you understand what it's saying. You're saying I just don't understand why you phrased it this way. But can anyone explain to me what this actually means? Why not?
There are a few options, but it depends on how you interpret the sentence.
Yeah, meaning, right?
It could be al mitzvot the son. It could mean the
meaning
mitzvah the son has on to do pertaining to his father. It could mean the mitzvah that the father has pertaining to the son. It could mean
the son on the father. Doesn't make sense.
Four different possibilities for understanding it.
What?
Notice mitzvot the son.
Al mitzvot the son
shall have.
Here, fine. You know what? Al mitzvot of.
Okay.
The son and the father. Does it become clear now?
But at least.
It's still vague. So what's the first question you ask? If you're trying to understand what the Mishnah wants you to do. I'm a man, and my wife is a woman. I want to know if whatever mitzvot it's about to talk about, only I'm obligated to doing, or my wife is obligated to do too. Okay? But right, because it's saying to me that some things that only men have to do. But it says all mitzvot of the son and the father.
Is it important what was said before? The context?
There is no context. It's the first sentence.
From the previous vision?
This is the first one. So what's the the question is? What does this mean? It's a linguistic question. What do you mean? What does this mean?
Sorry, but you said it's the first part of this, but there's stuff before the Mishnah written.
Before the Mishnah?
Yeah.
But that has to do with the previous.
This is Perikrisha. Okay.
Something.
No, I understand what you're saying. This is the beginning of a new Mishnah. Okay, so there is no context.
Okay.
Okay, there's no context. So it's saying my. Okay, how do we explain what does the word my mean?
What?
What is, not what are. Like what is, and then what is it? Look at the next phrase in the Gemara. What does it do? What does it say? Mitzvot haben al ha'av. What is, quote, all the mitzvot son on the father? Okay. The reason I interrupted you guys because you guys started from stage B, which is which mitzvot. But I didn't realize that, meaning first and foremost, the Gemara wants to understand what is being said.
Well, that's because that's what the Gemara led us to believe. Because the first three
That's
words
what you assumed.
That's
what the Gemara led you to believe.
Yeah. My mitzvot.
No.
What are all the...
Wait. Okay. So I see now what I should have done to try to lead you there. Because the phrase, Kol mitzvot haben al ha'av, is a quote. Meaning it's not a quote as...
You see it directly.
Because it's word for word, right? That first sentence of the Mishnah is, Kol mitzvot haben al ha'av, men are obligated, women are everything. And then suddenly you see the exact same phrase appear right after the word, my. So it's saying, what is all mitzvot of the son on the father? Okay?
Yeah, so that's why we concluded the first question was, what are all the mitzvot of the son?
No, but then it would say, which mitzvot are these?
So
assume, but it's saying a quote. What is?
It's a quote.
What?
You got to just know it's a quote, because otherwise it would say it.
It's repeating the exact same words. So it's saying, what is? Quote unquote, this thing you said.
How do you know to read it that way and not the way we read it, which was just Michael mitzvot? What are all the mitzvot?
Yes, what? Mazeh.
What?
Would it say it different?
Meaning, it's saying, how do you know that it's what is and not what are? Right? That's what he's saying.
Is a different word if it's pluralized?
No.
So it's
But if it wasn't a quote, the Mishnah would not use the exact words. The Gemara would not use the exact words.
It would not use the exact words.
Say it the same thing differently.
It would say which mitzvot. Now again, what?
Isn't that what it would say? If they were wanting to ask what are all these mitzvot, wouldn't they say Michael mitzvot?
Say that again.
If the question they literally wanted to ask was what are all the mitzvot, wouldn't it be Michael mitzvot? What would
no, because I understand the question. No, it would just say and what are those? Because it knows what you're talking about.
It wouldn't repeat itself.
It wouldn't repeat itself. It would say, okay, and what are they? Meaning the topic it would be like saying, meaning it's not an artificial process. Someone stood up and said this sentence. Someone stood up in the Bet Midrash and said, I'm going to recite to you a Mishnah that I remember that I learned, right? Because that's what it is. It was oral. So someone stood up and said, I remember the following Mishnah. All mitzvot, the son on the father, men are obligated, women are exempt. And then someone comes and says, wait. What is all the mitzvot of son on the father? If I were just wanting to know what they are, I'd say, and what are those? What falls under that category? Give me example. Would this be included or would that be included? Now again, I understand that, because I'm asking I'm trying to do something which is a little subtle, and you're asking me, how am I supposed to know that on my own? So right now, the best I can do is tell you, because it's repeating it with the word what, saying, what is, I'm quoting it, it's quoting, what is this? What is this phrase? I don't know what this phrase means.
It would have been better if I'm the author. The Amorite said, my haben ala'av. Right?
If it was more specific, it said, my haben ala'av. Right. Because that's the phrase, kol mitzvot, I understand. Kol mitzvot is all the mitzvot. That's, no one has a problem with that. The problem is, okay, good question. I think that it could have quoted just that part. It could have been more specific. Could be, yeah. It's basically quoting the whole thing up until the part it doesn't understand. Right. Okay, what is, so, you're right, that's something that throws it off. Because it could easily be understood as, what are all the mitzvot of the son on the father? But the only problem is, I'm assuming that you understand a phrase which obviously is obscure, is weird. Son, meaning it's as, even though in English it sounds like a weird phrase, I've duplicated the weirdness. In Hebrew, it's an unintelligible phrase. It literally means mitzvot of son on the father. Not upon, not towards, on. Which doesn't make any sense. Linguistically, it just doesn't make sense. Okay? So, with that in mind, let's dive back in. Okay?
So what is? What do you mean? You say all of the that are obligated, that the son are obligated. If you will say obligated to do, to the father. To the father.
To the father, yeah. So that's the first of the possibilities. So maybe the sentence means, if we say the sentence means, the mitzvot that the son is obligated to do unto the father.
Women are exempt.
Yeah, so the sentence is saying the son is responsible for
because remember that it's a question, right?
This is if you say.
Right. If you say that it's right, the option that you just said. Okay.
Oh, I see.
But then could this be? Right? It's leaning towards if you tell this, that's not possible. And it's going to tell you why it's not possible. Right? That's the stage.
How are we doing?
If you say that doesn't all the mitzvot that the son are obligated to do to the father,
what?
Women are exempt.
Yeah.
that would replace the other.
Yeah, it's trying to say, what does the word al mean here? It says maybe al means
So women
to
then
do
mean
two,
daughters
right?
in that
To
context.
do two.
I don't think we can make that assumption.
And then that would be, so look at question 2, right? What are the two options that can serve as an answer? Okay, right, we have a question. We have a question which is, what is the phrase, all mitzvot, the son,
But it's not
to the
finished
son
yet.
and the
It's just
father?
saying, if
So what are
we're
the two
saying,
options and what that should be?
That is what the son has to do for his father.
That's option 1. Option 2.
if you say that all the mitzvot that the son are obligated to do
What-
to the father,
Wait, no, we're trying to understand the phrase. It says, mitzvot
Doesn't
of the
it say
son and the
right
father.
there?
Option 1, things the son has to do towards his father. Option 2 is what the father.
So
That's what he said.
man,
Father.
man,
It
it only says,
Those are two options. No, that's not in the text. That's my question. Trying to guide you so when you see it, you'll know which option it is.
I don't understand why.
Yes, I'm asking you this. Yes, I'm asking you what do you think the two options are. You can figure this out just like the Gemara can, and then you'll identify which one, how the Gemara did it. Okay? So,
What about this option of any mitzvah that the
If
son
it's,
has to do, whether it's
it says all of it to the son has to do on the son, excuse me, the son and the father. So it means son and the father. I don't know what the phrase means. Son and the father. So there's two options.
But they are defining what are the mitzvahs. They're not
No, but I don't think, no, wait, it's a question about
clarifying
phrase.
anything.
It's like saying, the phrase itself
It only
means
says-
nothing. It doesn't have its intelligence.
Okay, so what are the two mitzvahs?
So imagine that I'm saying to you,
So it says in the
here's the most important thing you need to know.
Ish,
Son and father.
Ainly,
About son. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a really important thing, but I'm saying he's saying something that I need to know for my son, or my son needs to know for me. The phrase itself is
he says
intelligent.
what?
If you
Yeah, but they're trying to
They're trying to say this is
define the mitzvahs.
Sorry?
They're not trying to clarify
Right,
it.
right.
They're trying to define the mitzvahs.
No.
for some
They're
reason,
saying, is it the mitzvah that the
in
son
answer
has
to
to
that,
do
in
for the
my
father?
question,
Right. Or
maybe it means this first
Or
option.
what the second option
Right,
is.
it
from a phrasing perspective, what are the two options?
only says, it seems almost like
Right.
a rhetorical.
To his son, for the son.
So, man, it only
The
says
first
that.
option is, say that again, you see, because
Yeah.
to me,
Ish, Ainly, it only says.
so what they're saying, the sentence should have read, or could have read, the two options the way the sentence could have
Not
read.
could have. What could it mean? It's going to be always written like this. This is a source, primary source. You don't get to change a primary source, but you get to explain what is this. What does it mean? What does the phrase mean?
So, unless they're
And the
referring to
first
something
option
else
is all the
that.
What does that
mitzvahs,
mean? It only
that
says
the
each.
son
Okay,
has
so
to
maybe
do on
they're
behalf
quoting
of the
apart. So
father.
there's a,
What does that mean on behalf?
they're quoting something.
or
So if
for
we
him,
assume that, to take the
for
first
him.
of the
Right, meaning obligations of the son
So if we
to do to his father. What would be the other option?
Ben has
Father
to his Abba.
Father to his son.
Then from the
Why is that
original
not?
sentence,
How can you read that?
Mishnah,
How can that mean
according to the
that?
Ben
The son and the father, meaning the son to the father, or the son, which is on the father, to do to his son.
So if we take this as ish,
The phrasing is vague.
Which are on the father.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a quote or if it's a reference to something.
Okay? So if I'm trying to understand this intelligible sentence,
So maybe
those are the two options.
Surely it must be the third option.
The
What?
mitzvahs that
So
the father
something
must
that they're
do on
quoting
behalf
as-
of.
Why?
For-
Why surely?
or reference from this first statement.
The way you
can't
put it
be
a
because
moment
then
ago.
that
If,
original
yeah, but that's not what it says. That's me trying to understand what it, there's two options, right? All mitzvot of the son, right, to do to his father, or all mitzvot of the son,
Content-wise, it doesn't make any
all mitzvot of the son,
But it would,
and the father to do.
And this wouldn't be a sheila.
To the son. The phrasing is vague.
It's very vague.
Yeah, so the Gemara is trying to figure out. But I'm saying there's two options. Okay, let me see. How are we doing with time? Okay.
So I think, okay, thank you.
How are you guys doing?
We're stuck. I think I'm stuck.
Okay, so let's
I have a possible answer, but I know it's completely wrong.
don't. Okay, let's bring it in for a second and let's walk through it. Okay, let's walk through it. Okay, so what is the question of the Gemara? Remember, the question has 3 stages. Okay, there's an initial query, right? There's going to be an answer, an incorrect answer introduced and then rejected, and therefore reinforcement of the question. Right? Let's look at our flow chart. Right? We have a big question that has 3 little stages in it. What is X? Don't tell me the answer is Y because of Z. So what is X? Right? That's the structure of the question. It's a complex question. Question with 3 stages. Okay? Initial question, answer which is going to be rejected, and the rejection of the bad answer. Okay?
So, is that this stage or it's within?
No, here, you see? She'ela, and you see next to the She'ela I put 3 little function words. Right? 3 little function words saying, complex question. Question, don't even think of giving me this answer because that's impossible. So, what is the answer? Okay, that's the complex question. Okay, so question number 1. What is the question of the Gemara? We said, what is the question?
What does kol mitzvot mean?
What is the phrase? Haben al ha'av mean? Right? Kol mitzvot haben al ha'av. What does that mean? Okay, and now it's going to give us a proposed answer which is going to be rejected. So before we look at that, I want us to think on our own. What are the 2 options of the phrase son on the father, mitzvot of son on the father? What are the 2 options? Not in the Gemara, in our own mind. What are the 2 options? Option 1. I'm going to erase all this. Okay. Yeah. What are the 2 options? Option 1. Okay. This is question 2. Okay. 2 options. 2 options.
Aren't there kind of 4 options though?
Maybe. Let's see. Option 1.
Mitzvot, son, that's what's father.
Mitzvot, son, needs to do for father, meaning to father. Okay?
Is it to father or for father? Is the difference?
To father, meaning obligations I have towards my father. We'll use it. So it's son. Here we'll use the word towards. Okay? It's what son of son here. Of son towards father. Examples? E.g. Examples. What are mitzvot that the son needs to do towards his father?
Bring slippers.
Respect.
What?
Respect.
Bring
A
slippers.
couple of hours.
Respect. Like bringing their slippers. Okay? Respect. And what else?
Don't sit in his chair.
What?
Don't sit in his chair.
Okay.
Stand up for him.
Stand up. Good. Etc. Okay. Option 2. Of what the phrase mitzvot of son on the father.
Father towards the son.
Mitzvot of father. Obligations. Okay, we'll call it whatever. Mitzvot of father towards son.
I don't see how that comes from there, though.
All mitzvot
Replace
of
the
the
word
son, meaning it's basically all mitzvot of the son on the father, but of the son, son being
Obligated.
the
the father.
receiver on the father to do to his son.
What is the son of?
Okay? Meaning if I knew the other word, like syntax would say, I don't know, object, subject, I don't know, now, I don't know, whatever. But all mitzvot, as if it says, all mitzvot that need to be done to the son by the father.
Right.
Okay? So mitzvot of father towards his son, e.g.
Feeding.
feeding.
Teaching Torah.
Okay, let's go teaching Torah. Because actually, officially, from the Torah, you are not obligated to feed your children.
It's just a nice thing to do.
if you're feeling magnanimous that day, here. Okay, teach Torah, for instance. Good.
Teaching Parnassa.
Work. Okay, meaning educate to. Meaning teach him a trade. I call it teach him a trade. Teach trade. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So these are two options that would be, that's what I was shooting for in question 2. These are the two options of what this phrase could mean. Now, but it's not just this phrase. Now, so one of these is only an obligation on who?
The son.
Men are obligated, women are exempt.
So men are obligated, then it's only.
So one of these, only men are obligated to do. Meaning, either only men are obligated to do mitzvah towards their father, or only men are obligated to do mitzvah towards their sons. Okay? Now, continue. From question 2, continue. Now look at the Gemara and try to answer which option does the Gemara suggest and then discount. Right? Because the Gemara is there's two options. The Gemara is going to introduce one of them saying, don't tell me it's this option, because that doesn't make sense.
If you tell me
Then
all
what's
means
Anashim
that the son
What?
to do
Anashim is men. Nashim, yes, Anashim is men. Like what?
Like
that's it.
Men.
multiplication.
So it's like option A basically.
No, just men. Anashim, males.
Say that.
Males.
Yeah.
Males. Nashim, females.
Okay, so age.
Right, okay, I didn't mean men as in necessarily adults.
Right.
Males and females.
Blah 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 blah. Okay.
You got it? Okay, which option is it telling you don't answer this? Which one?
The first one.
What?
If you tell me that the mitzvah that the son is obligated to do to the father, don't tell me that because of it's this. It's said in a Braita.
That what?
That's what I can't translate.
Okay, fine. Wait. Can I take away your cheat sheet?
But why does it?
I took away your cheat sheet.
Why does it then talk about Nashim Peturot?
What?
Like the ilma.
No, I have this. No, this I got. It's the parts that I don't have translated that I have.
I don't understand.
Here you have. Ish. Man. Okay, this is it. Okay, so that's.
I'm having trouble with the grammar here, I think.
Fine. So that's what I said. Which option does the Gemara suggest and then discount? You know.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in order to figure this one out, you got to follow number 4. Look at the original pasuk. It's quoting a pasuk. Okay. It's quoting a pasuk.
I'm not following this. I'm trying to do it.
Okay. Right. So now, how would you know that it's quoting a pasuk? Because it says here, Ish and it's quoting a pasuk. You cannot understand. It's quoting a source. When we said it's quoting a source, if you're not going to look at the source, you won't be able to figure it out. Okay, so to answer that stage, you have to look at the source. You got to look at the original verse, and then you'll be able to figure it out. I'm sorry. Yes. You had a question?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why would be discounting. I don't understand the logic why it's discounting.
It says in the price.
Well, no. First of all, do you know which one is discounting?
It says this in the price, and they're going to tell us first.
This is if you were to tell me.
How do we get all of a sudden to this?
If you were to tell me,
then I'm going to reject.
Here.
yeah, but which one of these two options is being rejected? Look at the phrase. Ilema kol mitzvot demechayev bra lemed le'abad.
I don't understand why. I'm still stuck on the first sentence.
To his father, I would say on the first reject.
Right, so that's what's being rejected. That's option 1 is about to be rejected. Okay, now I know you don't know yet how, but first you've now figured out which one is being rejected. Okay. So, and that's this sentence, right? If you tell me it means all the mitzvot that a son needs to do to his father, women are exempt. Hatanya, this is stage 3. Okay. You can't tell me that because what's Hatanya?
And it says women.
What is the phrase Hatanya?
As it says in the Braita.
Good. Then there's a quote from the Braita that proves that that is not true. And then it quotes us the Braita. So now, in order to figure out what the Braita is saying, you have to open up the original pasuk.
So that's the next sentence.
Okay?
Right, but
which is it's quoted. It's going to be a quote. So it's quoting a source. You got to look at the source.
Find a bright. The source is is a quote.
Is a quote.
Not a brighter.
No, a bright. No, the Gemara is bringing a Braita, and the Braita is quoting a pasuk. Okay, so because it's always layered.
Right.
So are they saying then that the pasuk that they're basing this on doesn't mention Nashim, so therefore that can't be the source of it? So
You got to look very carefully at the pasuk. Okay, and I think I put in question 5. Let me see. No, question 4. What's strange about the pasuk? Hint: who is it speaking to?
Well, that's the thing.
Think about it. Ish imo
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, you're not there. Sorry.
No, it's the sentence before that we're having trouble with. It says in a Braita, Ish ein li ela ish isha.
Ish.
Yes.
Okay.
So
And man. It says man. This is a quote.
It only says man.
It only says man.
Oh, okay.
Isha minayin. From where do I know about a woman?
And it says in the Torah.
It says in the Torah what?
Okay.
Ish ima v'aviv tira'u. Okay. Who is it speaking to? Okay. How you guys doing? I haven't seen you guys in a long time.
Yeah.
You guys are a little bit lost.
It says man. It only says man.
And where do we get the Nashim?
Right. And so where does the word woman come from? Kishio man. Ishimo
If you're telling me that it means all the mitzvot that a child needs to do to the father, women are exempt, right, so that's when it's about to be rejected.
Well, okay, so
if you try to tell me that, I'm going to say, show them.
And looking at the specific paper, it says a man because applying the fear.
You could read it like that.
But then,
no, you could read it like that. Nashim Torah, meaning that doesn't make sense. If you tell me this, then Nashim Torah, from that, I'm going to show you you could read it that way. Both of them are fine. It doesn't change what it's trying to do.
Here's a quote from the Torah, so now here's my question.
So then it would be Nashim Torah.
Women are exempt.
Nashim Torah, no, Nashim Torah, women are no, it's not Nashim Torah. So women are exempt? Of course they're not. It says explicitly in the Brisa, the opposite of that. So don't try not to read that.
Because this quote, because it says that the man has obligations to his mother.
Isn't that in fact right? He's doing the same.
That's a quote, right? Ish, quote.
End quote. Same way you see
man. What's the pasuk? What is the pasuk?
Confuse his mother and his father?
The pasuk of the Torah is Ish ima v'aviv tirah. What is the word Ish? What is the pasuk? Translate the pasuk.
Has to honor.
What's Ish ima v'aviv tirah?
That describes as Ilma.
And his
Yeah. Ish ima v'aviv. What's ima v'aviv? No. Ish. What is the word Ish mean?
Just for them, but not to.
It's
not true.
His mother and his father.
Which Hilau is here or to off. So what is the verse saying?
So the conclusion is here in touch 9. Therefore, we have to be talking about the man in this.
So this right there saying, it tells me about man.
So in
needs to fear his father and mother.
So I think
Isha minayin. What does Isha minayin mean?
Because it says in the pasuk.
Where do we know that a woman is also obligated?
Don't give me that answer. I know already the answer.
Fearing his mother and his father.
Wrong. Easily disproved.
Shehu Omer, when he says, Ish, quote, Ish imo v'aviv tira'u, harei kan shnayim.
If we take it as son has obligation with his father, okay?
What's strange about the verse? Forget about everything. Look at the verse and think like in a parasha SHIUR.
Yes, that's why there's 4 different
Yeah, in the verse, Ish imo v'aviv tira'u. What is strange about that verse? Who is it speaking
no, I think it's the first person towards father.
Plural.
But not the daughter.
No. Ish is what? Is Ish singular or plural?
Singular. Here by this answer, I think they're talking about
the noun is man singular. The verb
and woman are considered under
so the verb is in plural. Tira'u. You shall fear plural. But wait. So you see how the verse is strange, right? The verse is talking to a singular person. Hey man. Hey person.
It's not one man, it's many men.
No, but it's saying it's not saying it's saying a man needs to fear.
No.
Wait, no.
I'm not reading that as men. I'm not looking at man, woman, and man. I'm looking at it as a man.
No. Just say Ima v'aviv tira'u. fear your mother and father. It doesn't say, man shall fear their, it's as if the pasuk is saying, man shall fear their father and mother. No, man, what, how did I just say?
No, I think it should be said, a man,
no, a man shall fear their father and mother.
A singular man
should fear their parents.
Yeah.
So if it's only talking about plural, who's the pasuk obviously speaking to?
Other men.
no,
Man and woman.
Not just man.
Why? Why not just men?
Because then it would just say, oh, you say why does it even need the word each?
No, I'm saying why assuming that the plural is made up of women and not made up of other men?
No, because then just say man shall fear his father and mother.
then it would be
It's not just talking. Wait, no. They would say ish himo v'aviv tira. A man shall fear his father and mother. Why a man shall fear their?
Right.
He didn't say men should fear their.
I understand that, but you're making the assumption that the plural is.
Yeah.
The plural is then another woman, as opposed to.
No, it means someone other than man.
Right.
Someone other than man.
No, someone in addition to man.
No, because if
another man.
then it would just say man. What's a plural? You're starting with singular, you're ending with plural. Either speak singular, and then it's man as in man, all man, or you speak plural, it's everyone.
Or
why
say woman if you mean woman, or say two men if you say.
Wait, that's a different question, which is if the Torah, why does the Torah need to hint to something and not say it explicitly? But the fact that the pasuk doesn't make sense. It starts off singular and it's plural, which means it's not talking just about the individual. It's not just talking about the first type. It can't be talking to one man, because it's not talking to you, it's you. It's saying, man shall fear their parents.
Refer to every man.
What? So just say, man shall fear his parents. Why man shall fear their parents? Okay? For instance, when it says, lo tirtzach, don't kill. Fine, that's everyone. When you're not being specific, it's everyone. But if you say, man shall fear their parents, doesn't make sense. So the Braita is saying, it says, man. So you would think it's only men. How do we know that women are also obligated to respect their parents? Because it says, they shall fear. So what does that do for us? The Braita tells us explicitly, based on the pasuk, right, this is where the sources come in, right? The Gemara asks the question, what does the Mishnah mean? Could it mean that only men are obligated to respect their parents? Because if you understand that phrase that way, that means only men need to respect their parents. Your daughters don't need to respect you. Terrible thought. Can that be? It says, well, no. How do I know it can't be? Because there's a Braita that explicitly explains a pasuk in the following way. Could it be that the verse about respecting your parents is only about a man because it says man? Could it be that it's not also women? No, because it says plural. So it must mean not just men, rather males and females. Okay, we have an explicit Braita that teaches us based on a pasuk that both males and females have to respect their parents. So, let's go back to our first question. Since everyone's listening already, let's go back over here. So, we proposed that option one, right? By the way, the fact that you all came up with this as option one makes sense. The Gemara also thought this was option one. It knew you would think that is the default answer. And therefore it says, don't tell me what seems obvious. Right? Don't tell me. It asks you a question and doesn't let you answer because it knows what your instinctive answer is going to be. Okay? To explain this phrase as obligations of a child to his parent. But it says, but don't, that's not unthinkable. You're trying to tell me that only males have to respect their parents. It explicitly says in the Braita and proves that both males and females have to respect their parents. So, what does the sentence mean? Must be, this is where someone says option two. Where that must be, Option 2. Even though doesn't seem to be what the sentence is saying. Right? The Gemara knows that you're going to think this. But it says, don't even think that option. That daughters don't have to respect their parents. And I'll prove it to you from a primary source that cannot be argued upon. Okay? Now, let's see. It's 9:05. So we're done. But if anyone has any questions, because I don't want to leave it too much in the air, then go ahead. Yeah.
Is there a third option, which is when you read it, it says you could read it as a son is obligated to do mitzvot for his father. For woman, he is not obligated to.
Wait. Meaning, there's only one option. Either. Wait. The question is, who's being expected to do something here? Either the father is being expected to do something, or the son is expected to be doing something. Okay, those are the two options. Because there's only two personas in a sentence. One's doing something to the other person. So it's either the father to the son, or the son to the father.
Well, the son is obligated to do this for his father, but for Nashim, for woman, his mother, not. Doesn't have to do anything.
No, that's not an option.
Okay.
Now, just because I don't want to, I just want to take a shot at just reading it from the inside, so we don't have to let's just look at it and look at it and just quickly see how it actually fits into the words. Okay? Because we got to do this, and I know we're going over time. Let's look at the Gemara. Okay, I'm going to read it. Okay, and next week I'll prepare a better sheet, and you guys are going to start by reading it in the Gemara yourselves and seeing how it makes sense to you. My kol mitzvot ben ala'av. What does it mean? All the mitzvot of son on father. Ilema kol mitzvot demechayev bra lemevad le'aba nashim pturot. If you tell me it means all the mitzvot that is an obligation of the son to do to his father, those are the mitzvot that women are exempt. Ve'atanya, doesn't it say otherwise in the Braita? The following thing it says that would contradict that. Ish, man, Eli ela ish. You've only told me about a male. Isha minayin. How do I know that a woman is also obligated in respecting her parents? Kshehu omer, when the verse says Ish imo v'aviv tirau, when the verse says a man, his mother and father, they shall respect. Harikan shnaim. It speaks in the plural. So I go back to my original question. My kol mitzvot ben ala'av. What does it mean when it says all mitzvot of son on father? So now I'm ready. Hear an answer, but don't give me what I know is the obvious answer, because the obvious answer cannot be right, because there's an explicit source that contradicts that option. So don't even dare proposing it, because I know you're going to. So don't. Yeah.
So is that second option more explicitly stated later on?
Well, look at your flowchart. Okay, we're going to have a proof. You're going to have a she'ela, which we just did. There's going to be a tshuva, which is not the automatic tshuva you would propose. And then, because it's not the automatic, instinctive answer you would give, the Gemara is going to do what? Prove it with a source. Because it knows that it's not the obvious answer. It knows what the obvious answer is, and it's saying, I know that's the obvious answer, but it can't be true. And this is the answer, even though it's not the obvious answer, and I know it's not so simple to understand that way, which is why I'm going to bring you a proof. And that's what we're going to see. Yeah.
So why does the Gemara quote something that's quoting something? Why doesn't it just quote the Torah right away? Why does it say, well, we'll look at the Braita says, why doesn't it just say?
Why does the Gemara itself say, the Torah says, Ishim B'Aviv Tirau? Because I want to rely, meaning, this was said by someone. This idea of how to read the pasuk this way. It was learned by the rabbis of the Mishnah. We quote. There's an order to things. We don't exist in a vacuum. We don't jump to explain, to make up a halacha based on the best source I can bring is how the. Actually, no. I have a better answer. We're trying to understand the Mishnah, a Tanaic source. Okay? So there's an assumption it's going to fit in with other Tanaic sources. Okay? So we're trying to understand what this source says. So let's take another source of the same type and use it to clarify what's going on here.